I'm going to run you through how I managed to lose at least $500,000 when I was opening my 4 cafes, and how you can avoid this opening your restaurant, cafes, bars, whatever. Now, I did this 4 times. There's one article about me. I've since designed hundreds and hundreds of other of these restaurants, cafes, and bars for other people. So, a few of the things is location. Honestly, like, the longer I'm in this industry, I realize more and more and more it is about demand and supply and demographics. Yeah, like, if there's lots of cafes or lots of burger shops and a limited number of people, you're going to sell less. And same thing if you only have a limited pool of people for your cafe and there's not enough people around, you are going to sell less. I had it myself. I opened 2 very similar concepts. One of them was heaving. It was like 20 grand a week, $1 million a year. I dialed it in. I was probably making about 20% net profit. I was making 200 grand. The other one, I barely made any money. In fact, I lost money. My sales were a hell of a lot less. I think I struggled to crack 10 grand. It was the simple fact that I put it in the wrong location. There were heaps of other options and there weren't just weren't enough people around, and it was harder to get to my cafe than it was to other people. So that's a massive thing. So even if you're struggling in one location, you may pop off in another one. So it's something to bear in mind. I remember, the story of Subway. Subway didn't work for the first 3 locations. He opened his 4th one. He has just had this blind ambition to open up 10 of them in a short amount of time. And I think it was his 4th one that finally kicked off. So I'm not saying ignore all the signals if you're failing, but just know that location can have a massive impact. Next, layout. Honestly, this means everything. I tell this story all the time where me and my friend had similar size cafes. My one, like I said, was doing 20 grand. His was doing 20 grand as well, but he wasn't making any profit. It's because his layout was so all over the place. Mine was very centralized. The kitchen, the bar, and the dishwasher were all very close together, and you could cross work between people and they could help each other out. And it was easy to get around with, whereas his had the bar and the coffee machine up the front, the kitchen was at the back, the dish area was separated from all of it. And so he had to have more staff on to be able to operate it to a level that was acceptable to his customers, and, getting enough food and beverages out, and the staff were running all over the place. So his staff costs were just out of control. It's a big one. So make sure it's as efficient as humanly possible. Now, product. Yep, like, it's never going to work unless you've got an awesome product. Yes, you can put an average offering in a location that has heaps of people and there's no other option for them, and they will eat it. You see this in heavy tourist spots and other places with limited options, and then the product's average. But if there's even a decent amount of competition in your area, your product has to be great to get people there. And if you want to be really busy and make plenty of money, then having a great product is definitely the foundation to build everything else on. This is just a quick thing. I can teach you all this. I teach operators how to design restaurants, cafes, and bars. I teach them how to do the concepts, how to use simple 3D software to bring it to life, how to produce plans that your contractors can bid or quote from, and how to manage the project to stay on budget. I had one guy, George, who he opened up a burger shop for 150 grand from an empty shop. These things are costing 4, 5, 600,000 now, but because he's got the skills to do a lot of it himself and the skills to shave money off everything, he managed to do it for so much less. Next one, 100. Don't pay 100 grand rent unless you're highly experienced and confident. 100 grand is totally doable. You should at least be doing 20 grand a week out of that, about $1 million a year to, keep it at 10% or below. But really, you want your rent more at like 6% or lower, so that you actually got plenty of room there to make a high margin, because the labor costs are so high now. So that rent thing, that'll kill you if you're not big enough. Don't open up a coffee shop that just sells coffee and have a massive rent. You're doomed. That's all I got to say on that. Experienced contractors. If you can find people that have worked on restaurants, cafes, and bars before, use them. Good contractors are worth their weight in gold. They understand all the legal and compliance side of things, so they can pick things up before they happen. They understand the most cost-effective and best ways to build things. They know all the niggles around equipment. They understand extraction hoods. They just understand all this stuff because they've done it before and they've dealt with the problems before. Someone who builds houses or does offices doesn't see this stuff, and so they don't pick it up. So if you can find a contractor who's experienced, but also is focused on you and trying to get you the lowest fit out or build out cost, then I cannot recommend that enough. You'll save 100 grand in avoidable mistakes by just working with someone trustworthy that's experienced. On that, don't take the cheapest bid or quote. It's a recipe for disaster. The cheapest one is generally just one they've chucked in low to try and get the job, they've missed a whole lot of things either purposely or just because they don't know about it. And then when you're on site and you're building and things are happening, they're like, oh, we didn't bid or quote or price for that duct to take the fresh air out, or for the air conditioning, or for whatever on the floor here, or some specialist thing. They miss a whole lot of things. Get the most detailed, thorough quote possible from an experienced person. And then if it's too expensive, either get more money or do less, because that'll be accurate. That's what it actually costs. That's a strong recommendation. Don't just blindly trust people. Same with this. There's great people out there. The same with any sort of industry in the world, whether it's lawyers or dentists or whoever, teachers. Same with contractors and designers and suppliers. There's great people out there, but there's also a whole bunch of shady people that will say yes and smile and convince you of things, but ultimately they don't have your best interests in mind. So I think the best way to control that is to educate yourself, understand these things that I'm trying to teach. Obviously, I'm biased saying this, but I never went to design school. I learned these skills myself, and I can teach you them. So how to, design things so that they're as efficient as possible, how to design it yourself, how to communicate that to trades. It's all learnable skills, and the time that you put into doing that is just going to pay off so much over the years, and lower build out or fit out costs and more efficient spaces that can generate more money. You know this as well as I do. A couple extra seats means tens of thousands of dollars extra in sales per year, probably hundreds. Moving people faster into go orders gets more money in the door. Having a layout that's more efficient from a labor perspective brings your labor costs down. Doing this it changes the game. Last one is just make sure your first location runs and they can fix problems without you. I opened my second one without doing this, and it was exhausting. It was my third one. I was running between the two, and that second one would go down when the other one went up, and then I'd have to go back to the other one, and the other one would go down while that one went up. And so I was just constantly running between these two, and I was running myself ragged, and it was exhausting. So no matter how exciting it is, because you're succeeding one and you want to open up another and make more money and do something and grow your thing, make sure that business can run without you and run without you well, because you're just shooting yourself in the foot if you go off and open another one. That's it. Those are my recommendations from losing at least 500 grand. I reckon I lost $1 million in lost sales and missed out costs, whatever it is. Do these things. It'll make your life a whole lot easier. I'll see you in the next video. Check out the link. Do that. Yeah. Check out the link. Check out the course. I think it's incredible value. There's plenty of other people that have given their testimonials as well. Check it out.